Okay. Hello. Welcome to Module 9, where we will be talking about faith and devotion practices, or faith and devotion practices. So, faith, it's not separate, but devotion practices and faith, shall I say. I went to first the textbook definition of faith and devotion. Faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. So we all recognize faith because we come from religion, and they talk about faith a lot and the belief and how much you're giving to God, how much you're believing in God, believing that miracles can happen, and believing that like Jesus and God are here, and pretty much like your trust and confidence in God, in their aspect and like bubble of what they see as truth, which we know is not all truth. It's just that what they believe, which they're comfortable with believing. Faith is very important in spirituality as well. It's just a matter of reshaping our perception of it, and kind of uprooting what we used to know and rooting it down into a new knowing. And faith becomes vital in spirituality when you are in periods of being in the void, of being like in the in-between, of not knowing where you're going, but know you are going somewhere. Not, what else? Having the belief in the unknown, and like the belief in the universe, that the belief that everything is conspiring for your benefit and everything is conspiring to happen for you and not to you. Having complete trust and confidence in yourself as well, so that you know your value and worth, but you also know like what's here for you, and what you're hearing, and the next steps that you're taking are based in faith. I'm hearing that one in spirit, and I'm trying to lock it in with my knowing, but I feel like this is a little testy one for me. But knowing, having faith in yourself, because you also are the connection. Like, you also knowing yourself is what's going to benefit your journey when you are having to maneuver and take certain actions, and maneuver and take certain actions that you are divinely led to. Now we go to devotion. Devotion is the act of dedicating all of you to a cause or activity. So when you bring in devotion practices into your journey, these are the things like implementing shadow work daily, like not shadow work, implementing journal prompts daily for yourself to challenge yourself, or to help you move through the things that you are experiencing, or like things, past beliefs that you believe in that you know are no longer resonating with you. It is taking the time to connect with spirit daily and like strengthening your channel and strengthening your connection with spirit so that you can hear louder, you can hear more, you can like strengthen the muscle of channeling faster. We already talked about that. Also, what you do with devotion. Honestly, like, devotion is the daily practice you implement that helps you connect and builds relationship. Builds the relationship that is also centered in faith. So your devotion practices is what will help build up your faith, and it will strengthen the bond between you and spirit, which is very important, and it will build your trust, which is the faith. It will build your faith up in knowing what you are going to be being asked to, knowing which actions you are going to be asked to take to up-level yourself, and just knowing who you are, and also just knowing like all the things you need to know on your journey and what spirit's going to communicate with you. But also too, like, if you do end up providing like services and you become a spiritual teacher and things like that, faith and devotion, which increases the faith, is what is going to help you stay connected and allow you to continue to do whatever business that you get into. Yeah, and so when you have faith, when your faith is deeply rooted, when your devotion practices are consistent, which in turn allows your faith to be deeply rooted, that is what will connect you even more and allow you to be tapped in constantly and cultivate a strong relationship with spirit built in faith, i.e. trust, so that what you are hearing and listening to, you are knowing and distinguishing the voices between ego and spirit, and you are taking the proper action. You are pretty much acting on what you are listening to and hearing. And then, like, honestly, like, I don't even want to go in depth about it, but it's really like having the connection and being tapped into your channel and to spirit. Consistent, strong devotion practices goes into a deeper trust, which is faith, and knowing in spirit, which creates the strong bond between you and spirit, which then allows you to stay connected and tapped in consistently. And I'm hearing something. Faith, what was it, spirit? I feel like I talked about that. Okay. There's something I talked about in an earlier thing, but there's actually means to bring it up again. So when you build your connection with spirit and the bond becomes strong and the knowing and faith in spirit like solidifies within you, that is what will take you far, and that is what will that is honestly like the journey. Like, okay, spirit, when you are questioning what's going on in your life, when you are questioning your experiences and you are asking God to take you deeper and you are asking God for things and such, you building a relationship, like building your faith in spirit, which is also building relationship with spirit, is very vital and key to those things happening for you, so that you can hear. That's spirit is making a very loud emphasis, so that you can hear what God is asking you to do, so that you can hear what actions you are being asked to take, so that you can know. So combining your faith and devotion is feeding your connection with spirit. And ultimately your faith and devotion, your devotion practices and your faith, the level at which they are kind of determines the level at which you are with spirit. And it's kind of like touch and go, and honestly it's kind of almost to what it is for you, because some people are just more naturally connected and tapped in, but I can tell you, like, the people who are most connected and the people who are most like really tapped in and you're just like in awe of them, it is because their devotion practices and their faith is strong. There is a consistent daily practice. Okay, Spirit, I hear you. A consistent daily practice that is being implemented to cultivate and strengthen the bond and relationship between spirit and that person. And spirit is also saying that, I'm sorry, I lost it. Spirit is saying that the way in which you see devotion practices is not cookie cutter. It's not just meditating. Devotion practice is something that you can do every day, daily, that you can implement into everything and every step in that you are taking in life, i.e. doing the laundry, washing the dishes, cleaning up, all in that sense. Those are, if you take the time to input your intention and put your energy in and allow it to be a devotion practice, you can connect to spirit in that way as well. And honestly, that is the best thing you can do, is having a consistent practice in every move that you make and take in this life that will strengthen the bond between you and spirit. And knowing that everything, your devotion practice doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to be what everyone else is doing. You have to find what's best for you and what works for you and your relationship with spirit. But also knowing that you can connect with spirit in a devotion practice You can connect with spirit and have a devotion practice by doing the dishes, cleaning up the house, connecting with your child, connecting with your spouse. Like, all of those things are considered devotion practice if you put in the intention and the focus around that. Like, they're mostly saying intention. If you put in the intention around that, that can become your devotion practice. Because, like, who's not cleaning? Who's not feeding themselves? Like, those simple things can be imbued with and turn into your devotion practice, so that you are not feeling like you always have to go out of your way to have this specific devotion practice in this specific way. And honestly, Spirit is saying that gets boring. that gets boring sometimes, and sometimes you have to spice it up and really mix it up and allow what comes through for you to just know that that is too a devotion practice. If your intention is for it to be that, then that's what it is. Let's see, it's getting lively around here. Okay. The last concept I'm going to talk about is when you are asking for things and you are asking for spirit to come through in a specific way for you that you feel like you are needing and you are desiring and all the things like that. Pretty much what you are specifically asking for in a specific way you want it. And things don't happen the way you think that they should, or things don't happen how you want them to. When you feel disappointed because spirit did not bring something into your field when you wanted it or in the specific way that you wanted it, you have to take the time to move through that. You can feel that and process through that. But know that, it's okay to be disappointed in spirit, and it's okay to feel disappointment. Just don't get stuck on it. And this is actually something that I learned from someone, Daniela. She's a channel. And she's like, you can be disappointed, just don't get held up on it. Don't get caught up in that whole cycle of, if you feel disappointment with human and people and how deeply that affects you, don't put spirit, the disappointment with spirit in that same light, because spirit always has the best interest and always knows what's best for you. So when something doesn't specifically come through a specific way, or when you are asking for it to, it just simply means that that's not meant for you, and that's not something that's going to benefit you. And spirit can see the higher view of your life and what path you are on, what things you are going through. And so a lot of times when we start experiencing human things, we start to limit our minds and our capacity of really seeing what's going on, and spirit sees the whole thing. And so we might think we need something and see it this way, but spirit's like, no, that's not going to help you. So spirit's not going to do that for you, but spirit is already conspiring something else for you that is actually in your highest benefit, and that's going to be even better than you would have ever imagined. So when you feel disappointed, you're justified in that, because human feels disappointment. But don't get too caught up on it in that sense, because all this is going to start to hinder spirit bringing in what is actually going to be beneficial for you. And then it can also clog up your faith and your relationship with spirit that you have been cultivating, because you feel like spirit has let you down or isn't there for you. But if you just change your perspective and just open up and not think from that space of limitation, then you will understand, dang, spirit, I really wanted it this way. I thought it was going to be this way, but okay, I'm listening, I'm seeing there's something better for me, and I'm just going to wait and be open to hearing and receiving what is meant for me to hear and receive to get me to what's better for me. So it's okay to be disappointed, but let's move through that quickly. And just have a sense of reassurance for yourself. And it's okay, my human's feeling disappointed, but my spirit knows that there's something better for me. And just reconnecting back to spirit and that knowing, there's something better for me. There's something better for me. You eventually won't even feel the disappointment. So, journal prompts. What routine can you establish that will contribute to your connection with the divine? What routine can you establish that will contribute to your connection with the divine? Evaluate where your faith and devotion are in relation to your connection with spirit. Evaluate where your faith and devotion are in relation to your connection with spirit. And what do you need to work on? So pretty much answer those 2 questions and then answer the last question from the answers of those first 2 questions. That is all I have for you, beautiful beings. I'm wishing you so much luck and giving you so much love and praying that this is really penetrating your system and really being beneficial and helping you into maneuvering and cultivating a depth of understanding around your relationship with spirit and connecting to spirit and spirituality. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next module.